What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. Sitting here now today with Mr. Jay Chambers. We actually got to hang out last weekend, so that was kind of fun.
Yes, we did.
We're gonna be talking about some fun upcoming information about a tournament coming up that I guess most of you should be aware of because Jay made a little announcement about it on Discord. That is the Thomas J. Chambers tournament, third annual
Third
installation.
annual Thomas J. Chambers Memorial Tournament.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some fun happenings going on there, different format kind of stuff, and then spoiler alert, it's about cube drafting. We're going to talk about cube drafting, what that looks like, how to build a cube. I won't maybe get into too much detail about like the actual how to because there's a lot of ways to do it, but we'll get some thoughts going. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing for this week's episode. I know some of you were, well, most of you were probably expecting for the last round of the Lackey Grand Prix video to be out today. The There are a couple different reasons why that's not happening. You will see that game at some point, I'm sure, but the game went. It basically made me realize that I could do this deck that I'm showing here a lot better. And so instead of just releasing the video and kind of letting it fall flat a little bit, I was like, you know what, let's just do something a little bit different this week. And happened to be talking to Jay, and I was like, oh, we should do a little shout out for the tournament coming up, give us some information, get a little hype going for the people. So
Hype train.
yeah, exactly. We need the little Derek choo choo sound effect.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have a soundboard or anything. I'm not fancy like John, so we'll just have to
Sounds
suffice
like a
with what
wheeling
we got.
deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it is also late at night too, so
This
good,
is
good, nice like fireside kind of vibe. Just, if we had a soundboard, we could make like a little crackling fire sound. I think
oh
wasn't it
yeah.
wasn't it me and John who had that going for Thoughts in Portland? Rip.
Yep. Off to Portland. Uh, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I should have a little like lighting effect with my background here so that it kind of looks like a fire and then some crackling. That'd be good. But we don't have that. But we are going to be talking about some redemption as usual. Before we get into things here, though, talking about cube and tournament and all that kind of stuff, as we are talking through cube information, if you guys are like, oh, I want to build a cube, but I don't know where to start or I don't have the cards to do it, you can go over to your turn games and pick up some cards to build a cube with, or I mean, just to build your decks with, I guess, too. But right now, he's got a deal for free roots cards. If you order uh, cards, every $10 spent, excluding tax and shipping, will get you a free roots pack. So essentially, just a little like insert from a normal pack. It will. Uh,
Two of them actually.
oh, look at. Oh, sure. So he like puts them together as like uh, two parts. That's cool. So yeah, you can go and get those, and the roots cards are great for drafting. So they'd make for good, parts of a cube. I think so. Uh,
They're also absolutely. I think they will be. They are helpful for a cube, although the kinds of cubes we're going to be talking about are a little bit, I don't know, more power hungry.
Sure. Yeah, we want only the best of the best. But I mean, Roots has some solid cards. Like I don't know, are we gonna make it a Nazareth cube? Like I feel like you know could.
We're gonna just have to be along for the ride on what's in this bad boy. So just to let everybody know, the full cube list is going to be part of the November 1 info drop.
All right. So look forward to that. You'll have about just over a month to review the cube, look at it. So I guess before we get too much into that, though, we should talk about the event and why
Absolutely.
people should show up. So do you want to talk a little bit about maybe the history of the
Oh
event
yeah,
for anyone who's newer to
yeah.
the game?
So
And
the Thomas J. Chambers Memorial Tournament's quickly become a fixture in our tournament scene, and it's sort of my baby in a way, both literally and metaphorically. So Thomas J. Chambers is my firstborn son. He went home to be with the Lord in 2023. He was born on October the 27th or 28th of 2023, and he was snatched up into the arms of our Savior immediately afterwards.
hmm,
And so the community came together and put on the first annual Thomas J. Chambers Memorial Tournament. We had people come from all over the country. We had people come from Texas, Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, Minnesota, just all over the country. People come out for this tournament, and it was a great experience. It was right after Roots released with IR. We did booster draft, we did Type 1 2 player, played 7 rounds of Type 1 2 player. The winner got a box and a playmat, and all those kinds of cool things. It was a really good time. We had locals Friday night. We had a communal meal. We just had a really fun time of fun and fellowship
yeah,
that just so happened to have really competitive redemption as well.
as we
And
like to
so,
do. Yeah.
and and it was a really great time. And then we did it again last year. Our turnout wasn't as spectacular. Our prize pool was way better last year. People turned out to add to the prize pool from pretty much everywhere. And so this year is the third annual event, and it's going to be really a different tenor because last year we Lexus and I we lost another baby. It wasn't a great, just really wasn't a great time in my life when we had it last year, but it was a really good sort of high spot in the midst of everything that was going on. Well, this year is going to be a different story
Hmm.
because people who come out to TJC3 will get to meet Alexis and I's daughter, Alice Jane Chambers, who's going to be born sometime in the next month or so. It's kind of surreal with our history to be thinking that, in a month from now, I'm probably going to be holding my daughter. I mean, really beautiful example of how God restores the years that the locust has eaten.
Yeah.
And so really excited about that. So those who come to TJC3, one of the biggest drawing points is that I'm telling people is that if you come to TJC this year, you'll get to meet my baby and Jeremy's future wife,
That
God
seems
willing.
seems like you're gonna want to bring like a stuffed animal or something if you're coming though. Uh, for the baby, of course. And maybe Jeremy's fiance is into that too, but that's gonna.
Take it easy on stuffed animals. Diapers are appreciated.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, maybe something more practical. So,
But yeah, you'll get to see our little chunk and more, and just as well, the reason you'll be coming, obviously, I'm going to say the reason you'll be coming is to meet my daughter, but you'll get to play Redemption as a side quest.
yes.
And so this year, the tournament format's going to look a little different. So TJC historically has been sanctioned as a district. It has been a district where we run Type 1 2 player, and we run minimum rounds plus two. And then on top of that, you get sealed and booster draft, which would run simultaneously. And then the winner of each event would get a playmat. Well, a couple things are going to change this year. So we're not going to be doing TJC's main event as a sanctioned event this year, which is unusual in Redemption because we all like to get our sweet seasonal promos.
Yep.
Don't worry, we will be running locals on Friday night to get some promos for those of you who are so inclined.
Good. Good.
Because that's a fixture of the TJC event is the warm up locals. So if we have enough participation, we'll have two or three pods of 8 people, so two or three different distinct local tournaments. Um, Assuming Rob lets me do that again, which I think, well, to be honest, I can just send off for them to be running at the same time this time. Um, but anyway, that aside, um, so there's that. But here's the breakdown on tournament format. So the reason why we're going to go unsanctioned is we're going to be doing a different tournament format.
Hmm.
Usually, redemption players are used to each category in a tournament. Each type of way to play redemption is its own tournament. So you go to nationals, and for example, and you play on Thursday. You play booster draft, and booster draft is its own tournament with about 8 rounds of Swiss play. You draft your deck, and then you play 8 rounds of Swiss with the same deck against people across the entire doggone field. Then you have Friday, and you play Type 1 2 player. Build your deck, show up, play, register your deck, get deck checked, play 10 rounds of redemption. And then, um, and in years past, you'd have a top cut. And then Saturday you play teams and more of the same, just teams. So each of these different tournaments, each category is its own format. Well, other card games, particularly Magic the Gathering, use a split format or split format tournament system where you'll play X rounds of constructed and then you'll play X rounds of limited. And I've always thought that that was a super cool idea. And the fact that we never have done anything like that in the history of redemption, in my opinion, is a shame because we have so many good ways to play.
Hmm.
And so I want to kind of do a few different things. I want to bring Top Cut back for TJC for one thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a split format tournament with Top Cut for TJC on Saturday this year.
So
And so
essentially,
what
what
that means,
that'll look like is, or if I understand correctly, so you'll play, however many rounds of Type One, and then, maybe the outcome of that will kind of determine, your pairings or seeding or whatever for the limited event. But the two
correct,
events together, your performance in each will kind of determine your overall
correct. There'll
ranking.
be a
Okay,
continuity of performance to reach Top Cut.
cool,
Which will most likely be a cut of 4, but will modular up to a cut of 8 based on turnout.
sure, okay.
Um,
And then
well,
can you play
probably
the
will.
same people in Type One and limited format, or does like the pairings
So
reset?
we are still ironing out the specific kinks of that system.
Sure.
What I do know is that we're going to seed off into pods, and then you're going to play your pod. So realistically, I think it will be theoretically possible in tournament system to play the same players.
Oh, okay. So the
But
the Type
I
One.
need to. That is something that we're actively working on. It'll probably so the precise procedures and rules are going to be part of the October 1 drop of information.
Okay,
So so we're going to have 2 drops of information outside of this video, October 1 and November 1. So October 1 will be this is the top cut format that or exactly this is limited in Swiss protocol, etc. That's going to sort of be released probably in document format on November or October 1, and then November 1 you're going to get a full list of the 600 to 700 cards in the cube and a little bit of pricing information.
nice. Well, hey, one of the upsides, I guess, of Redemption not having done this before is that we can just kind of do it however we want. It's kind of
Exactly.
set the precedent,
So
and but we got to figure out what will work well, and I think what will be the most fun. Which I think it'll be fun either way, but it sounds like a cool idea to me.
a big piece of information that people need to get in their minds right now is that if you are planning on coming to this event, you need to probably make plans for Saturday night
Mm,
because you're going to want to stick around to see who ends up winning. And if you do make top cut, you're going to probably be there because we're going to be running 7 rounds of play. I mean, on of Swiss, so everybody gets to play 7 games of redemption. And actually, we're going to be doing because this is an unsanctioned format. That means that we can do whatever we want
exactly.
within reason. And so, what I will drop about the tournament format is that Cube is going to be played using my patented skinny draft. That's skinny with an I. format, which is you build a 30 card deck with 5 lost souls, and you play the game the same otherwise, but you play to 3 instead of 5. And
Okay.
we're going to be doing best 2 out of 3 in a 45-minute round of skinny draft.
Interesting. I think that's, yeah, I like that because then you can get, you can build a little bit more, uh, I
You
don't
can
know.
build very concentrated. So breakdown of skinny draft. I am notoriously known for not liking redemption limited formats as a rule.
Hmm,
Um, if anyone is bored and they want to go down through the Nationals history, they'll realize that I do have a booster draft third place alongside all my other third places. But I haven't played booster draft since it was multiplayer
right.
at Nationals, and that's not going to change. And
Unless we start doing skinny draft at nationals.
unless
I
we
mean,
start doing skinny draft. The goal of skinny draft is to make more coherent draft decks and also to see a significant number of cards that you don't have to worry about soul draw disparities and just whiffing evil. With
hmm,
skinny draft, in my experience, you get to play at least one legitimate thinking battle per game, which in my opinion is an improvement over getting soloed by somebody who drafted Strong Angel or something, which I've had happen to me since Roots came out even.
sure.
Um, and then also you get the advantage of being able to build for the reserve because our limited format is going to be cube draft.
Hmm. So is the gameplay the same? Draw eight at the beginning, draw three per turn.
8 3 per turn. So the goal of skinny draft is to make the limited format about two things: the battle phase and deck building.
Hmm.
Redemption Limited currently has a number of soft skills that are built around playing probabilities
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think that should be the primary part of the point of the game. It's like there's the question of, do you take your draft deck up to 56 cards? Do you bring extra lost souls, which that's not really a thing anymore because we only draft like 56 cards when we draft now, which is
Right.
also stupid. Pardon me.
This is a
Um,
family channel. No, just kidding.
it's the family channel, but um, I don't like the fact that card selection has become just not really a needed skill in draft, and so the goal of the TJC cube is to and skinny draft is to create a draft environment where you're going to be cutting at least 20 cards from your 40.
Sure.
So and what lowdown that I will give on skinny draft is that skinny draft is you are building a strict 30 card deck.
Oh, so no,
You're
no 35
no
card deck or
play
anything.
no playing with probabilities.
Hmm. Interesting.
Your deck has to be exactly 30 cards.
Cool. Yeah, and
So
then best two out of three, I think, is good too. Or like you can play faster games and then get, your speaking of probabilities, I guess, it kind of helps eliminate some of the luck of the draw kind of
mhm.
aspects. So,
while delivering, in my opinion, what is the best aspect of redemption, which is the poker-esque strategy and battle phase.
hmm,
And so the TJC cube is going to be designed around perpetuating battles, but also perpetuating gameplay and perpetuating, ease of gameplay,
right.
um, and ease of deck building. So there'll be a number of intricacies in the cube when we get it released to everybody that you'll be able to study. And hopefully, we'll have something going on Friday night that'll let you watch some high level cube draft.
That'd be
Hopefully.
that'd be cool. So I just had this thought, and maybe you haven't considered this yet, but would you be allowed to switch cards from your reserve and your main deck in between games, like after the first game?
I
Be
would
like,
be I would be willing to entertain the idea of the reserve acting as a sideboard.
okay, or like even the other cards that you drafted, I guess, just have like a straight up sideboard, uh, like in a limited format in some other games that could be kind of fun. So yeah, something
Yeah, we
to
could
think
we
about.
could talk through that. I would say that would necessitate you needing to register your pool.
Mm,
Um,
possibly. I mean, I don't think we have to necessarily worry about people being too. I feel like even if you want to switch your deck in between rounds, as long as you are using the cards from your pool, and yeah, we could probably trust people to to do that. But
yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah,
We'll announce the rules in a couple weeks, and
sweet.
since you had that thought, you need to send me a message on Discord to remind me that when I sit down to pull all the rules together, that's something I think about.
Cool. I will hopefully remember to do that. Somebody comment remind me to do that. If you have any other
Or if you're in
comments or suggestions
or if you're
for
in the Cube Development channel on Z Temple,
hmm, yep.
which is a top secret club, send it a message when you hear this and remind us that this is something we're talking about.
Perfect.
Because I'm not going to remember anything tomorrow. I'm tired.
Right. So with that in mind, we won't go too much into or we won't go too much more into that, but we did want to kind of highlight one part about this cube that Jay wanted to do, which is that it is a classic cube in the sense that there are scroll cards that will be
Not
involved.
exclusively scroll cards.
But
So I want to make that clear. This is the true classic cube.
you say not
It's
exclusively scroll cards?
not exclusively
Okay.
scroll
Yeah,
cards.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there will be yeah, so classic in the actual sense of how the format is used. So you can use anything that's not banned. Although I don't know, we gonna put any of the banned cards in there? It'd be kind of fun.
Um, I have no clue as of yet if they're banned cards or not. It might be fun. It's something to think about.
Yep. So the full disclosure, the cube is still in development, and I think we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the like quality of cards that you want, and that's going to vary based on the cube and or that you're trying to build. Kind of the do you want high power? Is it kind of more low power and just kind of more fun, like balanced abilities, or do you want kind of like the best of the best, the Samuel's edicts, the Angel under the Oaks, Authority of Christ, that kind of thing?
Spoiler
Um,
alert, we're that version. We're that sort of a cube.
high power all the time, yeah. Which personally, I think I kind of lean toward that. I don't know. I think that it's just kind of a little more fun for me as a competitive player, and like I want to use high power stuff, but I think everybody's going to have a little bit of a different perspective on that. Like having a lot more roots cards in your cube or something would be good. Maybe before we get too much into the details of the card, I'll just give kind of a general, like, here's what a cube draft is, because in Redemption we haven't had that a whole lot. We don't have too many examples of that. I guess we do have, if anyone was at Nationals in 20, was that 16?
TLG Cube was drafted, I believe it was 2015 and 2019. No, it was 2016 and 2019.
Okay, yeah, because I remember, pretty sure I was there for the first time. Um, oh, I guess he posted it on in 2014, but let's see,
They
yeah,
posted it in 20 he posted it in 2014. He started the development. Clay comes out mid-development. And then the Cube gets played at 2016 Nationals. Daniel Hazenga wins it that year. Cube was not played at 2017 Nationals. Travis wasn't there. 2018, we didn't get around to it because there was like five of us there. And then in 2019, they did it again, and Jeremy won. Which,
Okay.
for the record, I want to point out that Daniel Hazinga is a forgotten legend of redemption and is one of the better redemption players in the history of the game at deck building. Actually, they did cube draft in 2018. I was wrong. Greg Miller.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So worth noting, deck builders win cube draft. So cube draft is a deck builder's paradise. It was won by Jeremy Daniel Hazinga and Greg Miller. Um, so number of people who are historically good at deck building are people who win cube.
Yeah.
And so if you like deck building, cube is your limited format.
Well, it's a bummer. You and I have no chance.
Hey, I have no chance. Look, I'm looking to go 4-0 in type 1, knock on wood, and then like squeak in on like a 1-2 cube record. That
Well,
that that's going to be my tournament.
if I had released the video for this week as normal, you might change your mind on my deck building abilities. I ended up taking all the meek heroes out, and I still had Ride On Victoriously awesome things in my deck. It was a little rough,
I see now.
but anyway, all right. All that aside, Travis Brown, he put together a cube draft is I think the first of Redemption's history. That was a side event at the few nationals throughout the years, and has now kind of fallen off, and there hasn't been an updated cube that I think people have kind of talked about it, but there hasn't been like an actual updated cube list released publicly for from any more modern source, I guess. So this is interesting if you're wanting to check out the TLG Redemption Cube. I'll put a link to that in the description of the video. You can see kind of the breakdown of like, okay, what is a cube, and how does it work? In this case, Travis has a 720 card cube. All of these cards get randomized and organized into individual packs. So they would, I think Travis had like little plastic reusable packs. You put the cards in, and then they're like 15 card packs. Each player gets four of those, and you draft it just like you would normal, like card packs. Except in this case, there's only going to be one of each card in the entire draft format. I think in this case we're going to be drafting in pods of 8 probably at TJC is the plan, or at least
Correct.
however close we can
Odds
get
of
to
8,
that.
the ability to go up to 10 based on
Sure.
attendance.
Yep.
Because the goal is that we're going to have 4 copies of the cube on hand.
Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, so Travis broke it down so that he used each of the 9 good brigades, 9 at that point. I mean, I guess it's technically still 9, and we are doing a classic cube, so expect there to be some red, maybe a little bit of teal here and there. But he had 16 good characters, 16 good enhancements of each brigade, and then 21 evil characters and evil enhancements. So he put enhancements here twice, but evil characters and evil enhancements from each of the 7 brigades. So it's a total of roughly the same number of good and evil cards. And then he included some amount of utility cards, and you kind of just gotta decide how you want to, or like what kind of power level you want for the cube, or maybe like fun level. Like, are you going to use cards that are more niche, or don't do as much, but are just kind of fun, or like work together well with other kind of less competitive cards, or cards that aren't used quite as much? Or do you want to do what the plan is for TJC here, where you're just using the best of the best, and it's still a little awkward because you got to find the pieces that work well together, but you're still having higher power cards, or card quality, and maybe dominance. I don't know. Travis didn't include them in his cube, but I think the plan is to include some dominance in the TJC cube.
The plan is to include dominance. We're going to try to design specifically against dominance that would, you know, uninteractably win battles. So you will not be seeing Angel of the Lord and Christian Martyr in this cube. Not at least not in this cube. So this cube is going to be codenamed the Iconic Cube. Um, and it's also, I'm just going to throw this little juicy tidbit out for the community. This is going to be part of a 3-year project that hopefully is going to create a definitive high-powered cube list.
Uh,
So I've got this cube concept and second cube concept brewing in my brain, and then if after sort of playing both of them and seeing how things go, then we'll start moving towards the definitive cube for the 3rd year if TJC is an unsanctioned event. So that would be TJC 5.
okay.
So I have a plan. This is my 5-year plan to take over redemption tournaments. I don't know. I'm joking.
All
I am
right,
tired.
cool. I dig it. So we got plans in place, and now we've even got Jay recorded saying it. So now we can bug him about it if he needs uh, some motivation or whatever to keep the plan going.
Absolutely. I'm expecting Cube Draft to be a big hit. I'm expecting players to come and really love this new format.
Yeah, yeah. I actually did not. I don't believe I participated in any of the side events at nationals, but so I've never actually done a redemption cube draft, but I'm excited to try it out, and I'm actually planning on doing one this weekend. So uh, I don't know if, well, I don't think he'll really care if I share, but Josh Knitt put together a cube, and he's bringing it to our local this weekend. We're going to try it out. So I'm excited to
If
see what he put together. He's one of those uh, elite deck builders, if you will, especially when it comes to limited like draft formats and stuff.
Gosh, are you going to be drafting this for 3 play or for multiplayer or for single player, two player?
That's a good question. Knowing
So,
him, he
is
may be.
if he designs a legit multi cube, I'm going to want to play that at some point.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to get him to come to TJC.
Well, there's no time this weekend. That weekend.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, but
Uh,
we'll figure it out at some point. But yeah,
well,
I'm definitely gonna be taking some notes from his brain on the cube that he put together, and I think I don't think it's a classic cube. I don't think he included any scroll cards in it, but and I don't know what power level he's got going on, but I think I'm excited to try it out regardless. So um, yeah, I think
I definitely, I definitely think keeping a power level consistent is key.
mhm,
No matter what power level you want to be, the goal is to avoid power level disparity.
yeah,
Because redemption draft is at its worst when somebody has ridiculously busted card combos or Chariot of Fire, and then I'm over here playing Ninevites Repent and praying.
right, yep, yeah, I think so. Making sure, I think particularly within each brigade, that each brigade has some level of power that's kind of equal with the other brigades, so that
Yeah,
it's
so
not just like.
it's worth noting. So here I'll whet the people's appetite a little bit. So some of my thought process going into Iconic Cube is that I want us to put cards into this thing that have been ridiculous in the history of the game. So you're going to see Matthew the Publican. You're going to see Authority of Christ. You're going to see Bravery of David. You're going to see cards like the Strong Angel, probably the Warriors edition, although the Roots edition is actually the best Strong Angel ever printed.
That's fair. Yeah,
Actually, you'll probably see that one. I'm just going to be honest.
yeah.
You're going to see cards like Faithful Servant Promo, and for those of you who haven't been around a while, go figure out what that card is.
I'm pulling it
Um,
up.
you're going to see Emperor Vitellius,
Ooh,
not the Roots one.
old school.
And so all of these ridiculously powerful cards over the course of Redemption's history are going to be showing up in this cube. That's why we're going to call it the iconic cube.
Nice. Heyman's plot. Eh?
No,
Eh? Maybe the roots one at least.
that card will probably be in the cube. Um, and then one of the Haymans will probably also be in the cube.
Yep.
Good luck getting them together.
That's kind of the fun part about cube though, is you can have kind of some of those two card combos, so to speak, that in a constructed deck you would be
And
building it
then
that way, and then if you happen upon it, it's just pretty cool. But otherwise, they're still good cards by themselves.
um, so other cards that you might see in the iconic cube from Classic, um, you might happen upon a copy of Burial Shroud, just as an example.
Oh yeah.
You might see list is still pending, but who knows? At some point, you might see Herod's Temple from Disciples. Um, I would expect that our good friend, our good Hittite friend, may make an appearance in the Red Brigade.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
think we gotta definitely have some good red stuff from Classic, because there's really not a whole lot in our rotation. So
Cities may be getting ambushed in a way that they're not used to being. Uh, they also might get no, we don't have that brigade in there. Never mind. I was going to say they might get besieged, but we're not playing Evil Gold. Uh,
oh, bummer. Well, I guess I don't have the fun rule for that now anyway. So
there'll be demons who peek out from behind idols. I think
okay, yeah, good old
so.
classic 1-1. Where is it?
Ken and I
Oh,
might be frolicking with 24 elders
like Kenanaya that can actually band to any
and to 24
musician.
elders.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's a lot of fun potential from classic cards. I was just looking at some of the artifacts here, and like gifts of the Magi. Seems like we could have gifts in her, maybe. Huh?
Put hypocrisy in there, make your brother angry. I will
That'd be
go on a
fun.
limb and say hypocrisy will be in the cube.
And then what do we think about cards like old school hidden treasures, where it's kind of like, I mean, I feel like that's got to be pretty much the peak of power level from a constructed standpoint, but in a limited format, I wonder if it's still
It'll be
that
there.
big of an impact card.
I think Noah the Righteous is another card that might show up in this cube.
Oh, sure. Well, he's not. Yeah, okay. Yeah. He,
And so if
not
you
a
put those
classic
two
card.
together, I wonder what madness you can see happen.
That's true. Yeah. We got I suppose probably no Saul Paul though, so yeah. That would also work though.
I mean, so that's an interesting thought experiment. Um, and you're making me think that I want to put it in now.
I mean, if it's just for I mean, maybe if you've got enough ways to convert them
Well, you know that's a nice way to make blinding light matter.
and redemption
And oh,
and Holy Grail.
yeah, Grail's going in anyways.
Yeah.
You can't do the iconic redemption cube if it's not Grail, and it's bonus points if we get 4 copies of the cube that all have the fundraiser Holy Grail in them. So
Because the fundraiser one is gospel. Right. Oh,
and the best looking Holy Grail.
oh, oh the fundraiser one. I got him. Yeah. There we go. The
So
AI Grail.
AI Grail. I like at least I like those early AI cards. They looked good. I'm not sold on. some of the stuff that's going around in times to come, but I'm not gonna proliferate on that.
That's not what this video is about.
It is not.
That
This
that
is
sounds
not
more like
Jay's
a
opinion.
podcast episode, you know.
Jay's opinions are. We're going to devolve into Jay's opinion. So let's figure out a couple more talking points for Cube.
All right. Well, we've got. I think what we should do is you already mentioned we're not using evil gold, but you want to give just kind of a breakdown of brigades that we are using, why you're not, wanting to do it the same way Travis did, where he had all 9 good brigades, all 7 evil brigades. What
Let's
was
do
kind
that.
of your approach for that?
Right. So here's the thought process: is that I want to create a cube where you have a decent amount of depth per good and evil brigade. I want to mirror. I think that the culling of redemption brigades to 7 and 6 is healthy. I
Hmm.
think it's the healthiest place that brigades of redemption can be. And because this is a curated environment, we're not constrained to what are the brigades that we're printing because these are cards that already exist. And so I sat down and myself and Josh P sat down and thought about what brigades would be good in a cube environment. And so what 6 good brigades or evil brigades and what 7 good brigades. And so we decided we want to design 7 good brigades and sort of give each brigade kind of wings. So in Magic, you have enemy and ally colors.
Hmm.
And so I kind of want to use that concept of enemy ally color. So you've got a brigade in the middle, and then it's got a brigade on either side that it works well with. But those 2 brigades on its sides don't necessarily work well with each other. So, for example, if you were to create a sort of a little shard there, you would put green in the middle of silver and red.
Mm.
Um, and so green might work really well with red, and it might work really well with silver, but silver and red aren't going to work really well together. Now, I'm not saying that silver and green, that in my mind, green and red are actually in a shard together because I don't actually think that's how that would work.
Sword of the Lord,
Um,
man, mighty warrior.
but, um, well, I was thinking more Zachariah Mighty Men
Sure, yeah, yeah,
or Green Prophet guy who bans to generic warrior.
yeah. And I
So
think
that's kind of
it's worth mentioning that not in the game as a whole or the entire card pool, maybe there is a world where red and silver work well together. You got your Angel Wars balance. Just kidding. Probably not that, but like
it's not
the
that.
cube though. In the context of the cube, it will be designed in such a way where there's not as much overlap with red and silver in this example, where you could go to this one brigade, and then if you're trying to splash, you might pick one or two of these other these wings, as Jay is calling them, to kind of be your other splash brigades, but your deck will still be a little more cohesive.
And so, and some colors, the sort of the allied shard concept is going to work better for some colors versus others.
Hmm,
So, so for example, purple's allied colors are going to be red and clay. And well, think about the number of purple heroes that have red slapped on them, and then the number of disciples that have clay.
yep.
And so, um, each of these brigades is going to have synergies, but some are going to have more than others. And so, like for example, green will most likely be a standalone brigade that just happens to play really well with silver and maybe some other color, which white maybe. My brain's not working great tonight. Probably white if I had to guess. But anyway,
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Although green kind of goes with everything, silver kind of goes with everything to a bit of a to some degree, but that will kind of be where the cube curation comes into play, to kind of you know gear it toward one direction or another.
Correct.
I think so. Another thing, kind of to mention brigades, Redemption. We've got a lot of multi-brigade cards. What's your approach on, like, do we want a lot of multi-brigade cards? Do we want like
So
only the ones that are, fit with the wings?
for for this for this cube, um, we are not going to be designing towards like a single color draft predominant experience. We're going to be trying to design towards what creates the best draft environment. And I'm of the opinion the best draft environment has a lot of cards with 2 and 3 and rainbow brigades on them. So
Sure.
we're going to be including probably every rainbow brigade enhancement that is remotely playable in the history of the game
Okay.
into this cube on offense and defense, which isn't a lot when you think about it, but there's some things there.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to brigade fix as much as humanly possible so that no one shows up and they've got like one son of Jacob, captain from II, chosen warriors. Like just think of the most atrocious looking draft pile you've ever seen. We're not trying to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a garbage draft, or like a garbage sealed, I guess, or we're uh, trying to make it, so that you
Yeah,
actually have a deck you can feel good about.
garbage sealed actually. I think you actually produced a better deck in garbage sealed than some people do in booster draft on average. Anyway, should be a lot of fun. Just to let everyone know, the brigades that are not included in the cube are blue and teal on offense and evil gold on defense.
Hmm.
So um, blue has been excluded because blue has a relatively high need of cards in its same color,
Yeah.
and so that doesn't isn't necessarily conducive to a healthy draft environment. And my thought process was is that the curation to include blue would be very difficult without having the data on how does a cube how to like having the data of this is our cube and this is how it ran will help as we try to craft a cube in the future that includes blue cards.
Sure. Yeah. I think it also, kind of, you kind of touched on it, but it doesn't wing well. It doesn't blend as well with some of the
It
other
does not
brigades.
it
Like,
it would wing red and silver, and that's very awkward
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
because it would
Whereas,
not it would not ring it would not wing red well, and winging silver it would just be dudes that band each other
yeah.
and Malak.
Yeah.
So like which Malak might show up in the cube. He's
Sure.
just a good silver hero.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's sort of up in the air.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So teal is teal. We'll probably never see teal in a cube. Just being completely honest with
At
ourselves.
least not like as a focus, anyway.
Not as a focus. There'll be cards in this thing that have teal on them. I mean, Jeremiah the Hope Bringer is probably going to be a card that shows up in this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because if I'm just thinking about iconic green heroes, I mean, that's one of the few heroes that I view as iconic in the Green Brigade. Although Times to Come is definitely trying to sort of shift our minds on that. I would,
There's a new
I mean, and
Jeremiah in town.
it's also entirely possible. So being this is cube, it's entirely possible there's going to be 5 Davids in this bad boy.
Hmm.
Do not tempt me.
So much,
But
David.
there will not be a design restriction on including cards that make logical sense. So if it makes sense that we have David the Unifier and David the Shepherd and David Outcast Reviews, we will have both.
Sure. And then you're just gonna general gameplay rules, or like deck building for limited formats will be, or those rules will be in place. So you
and
can
then
include both
it'll unique.
Davids, but then
You can
gameplay.
include both Davids, but you can only have one David in play per at a time.
Sure. Yep. Makes sense. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's probably a uh, good, good amount of information that we've given out. I think one last thing to probably mention here. I mean, it's in on the Discord as well, but do you want to give us the dates, the location, maybe time if you've got that figured out for Friday night?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll probably be having dinner between 5 and 6 Friday night. It'll be December 5th and 6th. Um, you'll want to plan for long day Saturday. Um, free lodging at the church. You can stay at the church Saturday night, but you got to be out of the church by a certain time Sunday morning because we will have church. Um, so I know last year a bunch of you stayed in Mitch Stewart's hotel room, which was kind of hilarious.
We
Um,
opened some boxes. That was pretty fun.
yeah, so that's kind of what it looks like. It's going to be the same location as always, South Litchfield Baptist Church in the thriving cornfield metropolis of Litchfield, Michigan.
Yep. Don't hit any buggies on your way there.
No, absolutely not. We have plenty of delicious Amish bakeries. We have no restaurants. Um, they will be menu will be published. November 1 drop. We'll have the food figured out. If you have dietary restrictions or dietary needs, please communicate them to me ahead of time, and I will accommodate your dietary restrictions, which means that if you are deathly allergic to something, then nobody's eating that.
Makes sense.
But anyone planning to come who has major dietary restrictions, dietary needs, food allergies, they do need to communicate that information to me ahead of November 1. And I will accommodate as much as humanly possible because that's my nature.
Sweet. And speaking of Mitch's hotel room or just hotel rooms in general, as someone who's been there and stayed in a hotel nearby, and also, you can ask Chris Hill. I guess he's the expert on hotels in the area. You can
Yes.
the Best Western in Coldwater. It's about 20 minutes from the church and Jay's place there. So that's the the recommended hotel. But I think there are
Yes.
cheaper options available that are probably not worth not paying the extra.
Are inferior
Yeah.
to the Best Western Plus in Coldwater.
So
I may have some people put themselves in some other hotels in Coldwater to get me some intel. But as of right now, we recommend the Best Western Plus. It is in walking distance from the Taco Bell,
true.
which should make you have nationals at Chris's vibes. Um, but yeah, I recommend staying in Coldwater. If you're coming to TJC and you need redemption or you need card game supplies, I recommend stopping at Crescent Games in downtown Coldwater, Michigan.
Hmm,
Crescent Games carries card sleeves, redemption packs, dice, whatever you might need.
sweet. So does that mean Andy's not coming, or you just
Andy's probably hopefully Andy's coming this year. But if you're staying in Coldwater and you want to buy Dragon Shield, since Andy doesn't carry Dragon Shield sleeves, I recommend Crescent.
so there you go. All right. So there's going to be at least some distinction there.
But all your redemption card needs buy from Andy because Crescent doesn't have singles.
Yep.
Uh,
Not yet, anyway.
no, they probably never will. Let's be realistic here.
Come on, man. I
I
was
have a
giving you a
great
chance.
vision for our game, but I don't see my local game shop stocking our singles.
All right. Well, we can dream. But all right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us and listening to us go on about this event and the draft. I think it's all going to be a great time. Going to be able to meet Alice and meet uh,
Abigail.
Abigail. I did not know that. I wasn't trying to remember. I was just trying to. Well, I was trying to remember if I knew that, but now I know that I did not. So, So yeah, gonna hang out with lots of cool people, meet some cool people, and I think it'll be a good time. Kind of a fun sort of getting back into the tournament season. I mean, we just had the first times to come tournaments this past weekend, so that was pretty fun. So looking forward to getting some more times in playing those, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely,
So
me too.
sweet. Thanks,
All
Jay,
right.
for joining me, and we'll catch you all next time.
Catch you on the flip.